Okay, hey there. This is going to be an unscripted video, but I want to just come in and talk about some things that have been on my mind about the project. My name is Caleb McKay. I've been working on a PS1 style horror game over the past year or so, and I want to talk about how the progress has compared to my expectations. I started the project in February of 2024, so it's been well over a year now. Whenever I was first starting it, in my mind I was like, yeah, this is a PS1 style game, it's super simple, this is gonna be a couple of years maybe. It'll just give me some knowledge on how to make games and I can go on to the bigger things that I want to do. Now, like 1.5 years later, I only have the first area made. I'm working on the inventory system, but that's kind of going to be the first real gameplay component, which is, it's kind of mind-blowing how late this step is being taken. And when I really think about the root of this, it's probably perfectionism. Let's say most of development has been revising things that I've already made. Most of the days that I documented was just like changed something on Casey's, my main character's texture, changed the movement speed, changed just nothing that really needed, like not adding anything new, just going back and just changing something that did not need to be changed, that I liked whenever I had first made it. I think this is a pretty common issue for game developers, if I'm not just projecting there. We have to playtest our games for so long. There's probably been like over 10 hours of just playtesting the movement controls, that as a developer, over time of just focusing in on one thing for 10 hours, you start noticing things that you never noticed before, that nobody else would ever notice. You forget how you felt when you first implemented it, and you're like, this is now a problem, and it's a cycle that keeps repeating. Moving forward, I think I have to really tackle my perfectionism, or I probably won't ever see this game finished. 1.5 years for just the first area and some movement controls is outrageous, and I can't just chalk that up to, oh, it's my first game, I didn't know what I was doing, it won't happen again. If I keep focusing on things that I don't need to focus on, it will happen again. And not just on movement controls, on every last thing in this game and every last thing in any potential future projects. What I should be doing is just finishing everything, and then at the end of the game I can really see if I even noticed those potential issues at all, if they were actual issues or if it was just in my head. And I'm pretty sure 90% of the time it would just turn out to be something that was entirely in my head. My perfectionism not only impacts the time it takes to develop things, but it also has impacted the quality of things, because I make something that's good looking, and then all of a sudden I think it's not good enough, so I start changing things. Oftentimes, oh, this thing that I added doesn't look good enough, I'll just remove it, and now the area, the whatever, looks or feels emptier because I removed something that I already had there just because I didn't think it was as good as the other things that I had already made. For a pretty funny example, there used to be white dotted lines in the middle of the road, but I got rid of those because I thought the road looked, I don't even remember what the problem was. It was like the road felt too claustrophobic or something. Again, it was probably just in my head. And there are some of these changes that I do in fact like. For example, the camera controller, the new one that has the camera offset to the side so you can see in front of the character, is a very good addition. But it was also a product of perfectionism and just zeroing in on one thing. Nobody would have probably seen it as necessary as I did, but I thought there was a blaring issue, so I spent way too long trying to fix it. In hindsight, with the amount of time it took me to implement that, I could have probably made another area by now. In fact, there was even an issue that popped up because of that camera controller where the camera would get pushed through a wall if the player got too close to one, and I had to implement some kind of protection against that where the camera comes back to the center of the player when they get too close, which also took a lot of time. But anyway, that's probably gonna wrap this up. I just wanted to, one, get some of these thoughts out of my head, and two, get a video out there, because the inventory system is not going as fast as I thought it was going to. I know I have a lot of game developers in my follower base, so if you have any similar experiences, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. From now on, I think I'm going to try to worry about just getting things out there instead of worrying about the quality of them right now. I need to make sure I do that later rather than sooner. Anyway, that's all from me. See you later.